on the 25th of January 2008, I got woken up with a massive panic attack. In the UK, the leading cause of death amongst men, the number one cause of death is suicide. My friend couldn't talk. He couldn't tell his wife. He couldn't tell me that he was struggling mentally or emotionally. And instead, he took his own life.
Hello and welcome Jojo's Cross Borders. Today we have Geoff McDonald, who used to be the global head of the HR for marketing and communication sector at Unilever. So with this international role, he's gonna share with us his experience when he suffered the panic attack and mental issues. Thank you so much, Geoff, to come here to talk about your personal journey and then why you leave Unilever and then become my colleagues from Energizing Leaders. Can you quickly introduce yourself to our audience first?
Yeah, sure. Jojo, thanks for having me. So nice to come and see your house and where you're living. And
my team.
And meet your team, yeah. Fantastic. My name is Geoff McDonald, and I started my career once upon a time as a teacher, teaching maths and biology, and then I left teaching and I joined a company called Unilever, and I spent 25 years working for Unilever, where I was the global head of HR for all of our marketing, communications divisions around the world. And then in 2014, I decided to leave Unilever and to go out into the world, driven by a very deep sense of what I call purpose. And that purpose is to try and create workplaces, friendship groups, family groups, where every single person in that setting feels that they genuinely have the choice to ask for help if they're struggling with a common form of mental ill health. So that could be depression, it could be anxiety, they might be bipolar. You know, I want us to have a world where people don't feel ashamed or embarrassed to ask for help if they're struggling mentally or emotionally.
Wow, such a meaningful. So what drove you this? What that happens to you? That's like as a global head of HR, there you quit your job, and then doing something meaningful. How did you find this from inside of you?
Look, I mean, it's. I suppose it's all got to do with just my own lived experience. Back in, I think it was 2008. I'll never forget the date. It was my. It was the 25th of January 2008. And I never forget that date because on the 26th of January 2008, my youngest daughter, or my eldest daughter, Jennifer, by the way, she just lives down the road here. So I'm going to go and see her just now.
Really?
Yeah, she lives down the road.
Wow, okay.
So she
My
was
neighbor.
almost your neighbor.
Wow.
Yeah. So she was going to turn 13. So there was lots of excitement in our household that night because, she was going to become a teenager.
Yes, big day. Yeah.
Big day. Mm-hmm. And at midnight, on the 25th of January 2008, I got woken up with a massive panic attack.
You had a massive panic attack because your daughter will turn into teenage?
No. I have this massive panic attack. I've never had a panic attack in my life before. I'd never spoken to anybody about a panic attack.
So you're never aware of this?
Never aware of it. The ends of my fingers are tingling.
Yeah.
The ends of my toes are tingling.
Yes.
My heart is beating and beating. I can't regulate my breathing properly. The bed sheets, because this is midnight, the bed sheets are wet with sweat because I've been sweating. And even when I tell you the story, I feel a bit anxious, and I remember, because I'm so naive to these feelings.
You think you get a heart attack?
Exactly. I think I'm about to have a heart attack.
You think that you're about to die?
Exactly.
Just before
And
one day, just before your daughter's birthday.
yeah, 13th birthday.
13th birthday.
And so I bumped my wife, Debbie, and I say, Deb, I think I'm about to have a heart attack. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
And she said, why? And I tried to explain what I was
Yes.
feeling.
Yeah.
And she said, get up and walk around the room,
Yes.
which I did. And she said, take some deep breaths, which I take.
Yeah.
And then slowly, the levels of anxiety begin to subside. But I can't go back to sleep.
No. How long does it last? Whole night?
Well, I mean, I lie in bed until about 7 o'clock the next morning, catastrophizing about stuff, scared that if I fall back to sleep, it'll happen again. The adrenaline is pumping, so I can't go back to sleep. And at 7 o'clock, who comes running into our bedroom?
Oh my gosh, ask her where is my birthday
Exactly,
gift?
Jennifer. She comes running in, and her little sister, Anna, who was 10 at the time,
Ask
comes
her
running.
for Christmas gifts like a birthday gift.
Well, what we have in our family is we put presents at the end of the bed on birthdays. And then we all open the presents together. That's our sort of...
For birthday as well?
Yeah, that's our little
So
tradition, okay?
How did you feel when you see her beautiful face and looking for the birthday
Well,
gift?
Jojo, I mean, when she walks into the room, all I say to her, Debbie, and her little sister is, please go away.
Understandable.
There is no ways I can engage in anything where there's noise, where there's joy, where there's laughter. At midday that morning, I'm in his doctor's room and I'm diagnosed with anxiety-fueled depression. Me? Depression? I mean, I didn't know what the word depression really meant. I didn't know what depression was. Here I am in a very senior job in Unilever.
Yes.
And now I'm diagnosed with depression. I've got a good job, I've got a good salary, I've got a happy family, I've got beautiful daughters. I'm usually a very energetic, fun-loving sort of person, and now I'm diagnosed with depression.
What a contract.
And when I left the doctor's room that day, I made a decision that I believe saved my life.
What was that?
I decided not to be burdened by the stigma. There's a lot of stigma around depression. Mm-hmm. And I decided I wasn't going to let that stop me asking for help, getting the support that I needed, telling other people what was wrong with me. And Jojo, I had to take 3 months off work. I mean, I was so ill, I had no cognitive abilities. Because I was so anxious, I couldn't think properly.
No one could.
And nobody can, hey? You know when you've been very anxious.
I know.
You can't think properly. You can't make good decisions.
Yeah.
And
neuroscience told you now, psychologically tell you now. I mean, it's impossible you can function normally.
Yeah. And so I have to take 3 months off work. And every day is a dark day. And during those 3 months, I have dark moments where I think life is not worth living. I think to myself, I'm a burden to my family. I'm a burden to friends. But because I've been able to talk about my illness and share it with some of my friends, my family, some of my colleagues at work, do you know what I got back from them? I got back from them the two most powerful emotions in the world. And the first, which is the most powerful emotion in the world, is called love. And when I was in a dark moment, knowing that I had a 10-year-old daughter, a 13-year-old daughter who loved their dad, kept me going.
So it's the love.
That sense of feeling loved in my darkest moments kept me alive. And the second emotion I used to feel, and this is because I used to meet with a friend of mine who had been very sick with depression 2 years prior to my illness, and I saw he was better.
Oh, so you saw hope.
Exactly. I saw a little bit of hope, a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. And you know, Jojo, those two emotions, feeling loved and having a sense of hope that this will pass,
It's a great combination.
kept me alive.
Yeah. But let me ask you this. So is that the love was there before, or is just the love?
No, the love
it
was always there.
Yeah, but why it didn't feel like it before?
No, it always felt love before.
Oh, you always felt
always
love.
felt love.
I thought that you felt loved after you get sick.
No. I always felt a sense of love in my family and with my friends, etc.
But it's getting feel stronger.
But you know, what I could have done is I could have told nobody. Like many people today.
Yeah.
They are living.
Cover your face.
Exactly.
Yeah. Be a strong dad and boss still. Carry on.
And do you know what eventually happens?
What gonna happen?
What eventually happens, if you can't share,
Yeah.
get the support, the help, feel a sense of love, a sense of hope, eventually somebody takes their own life.
That is a suicide.
Exactly. Do you know that every 17 seconds somebody kills themselves in the world today? Every 17 seconds somebody takes their own life. Driven
Every 17
seconds. Yeah.
One people in the world taking their own life.
Yes.
No, this is shocking, is it?
It's shocking. And you know, it doesn't have to happen because we are so burdened by the stigma.
Yes.
People are so burdened by the stigma that they don't want to ask for help. They don't want to get the support that they need. They don't want to get the medication that they might require.
Yeah.
They don't want to get the therapy that would maybe help them to get better. And so I was so lucky that I'd been able to talk. I wasn't burdened by that stigma. And so I was able to take some medication. I was able to do my therapy. I was able to feel that my friends, my family, that sense of love, that sense of hope, and that kept me alive. And then what happened, Jojo, is I went back into Unilever, and about 4 years after my
Panic attack.
I actually call it my crucible moment in life. It was my crucible moment in life.
It's like a wake-up call as well.
Yeah, let's call it that. Call it what you want. But it was
Okay.
my crucible moment in life. 4 years after my crucible moment in life, I lost a very good friend to suicide.
After 4 years.
Yeah, so 4 years, I'm back in Unilever, I'm working, I'm feeling a lot better. And one evening, I'm on my way home, and Debbie, my wife, phones me after I've left the office, and she says, "Geoff, I've got terrible news. A friend of mine killed himself that afternoon."
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that.
And, you know, this guy, I think it was Carl Jung who once said, "The brighter the light, the darker the shadow." Eh? And that was my friend. He was the most fun-loving, energetic human being. He brought so much light to the world,
Yeah.
and now he was dead.
It's the inner self, like a shadow there. The big
Exactly. Bright light, dark shadow. But my friend couldn't talk. He couldn't tell his wife. He couldn't tell me that he was struggling mentally or emotionally. And instead, he took his own life. And you know, Jojo, I lay in bed that night and I thought, that is an injustice in the world that we live in today. It is not fair. You know, you are mental, I am mental. What do I mean by that? I mean we've got cognitive abilities.
We are animals.
Yeah.
We are human beings.
We're human beings with cognitive abilities, which means we're mental.
Yeah.
With emotions, we
Yes.
have feelings. With physical
That's
attributes.
physical. Yeah.
And we are also spiritual.
Exactly.
All right?
We are all rounds one as human beings.
Exactly. But you can tell me when you're not physically well, you don't have a problem going to the doctor,
No.
asking for help,
No.
getting the support that you need when you are physically unwell. But if one was struggling mentally or emotionally, you'd think twice about going and get the help and the support that you need. And I just thought to myself, that's an injustice.
Yes.
And you know why?
Yeah. Why?
Well, it's because of stigma. It's because people think that somebody who might be struggling mentally or emotionally is weak,
Can't take the job.
can't take the heat in the kitchen, can't take pressure.
All labels.
all
judgment.
those terrible labels that go with weakness and shame. And I mean, I'm sure some people might have thought, what's Geoff got to be depressed about? He's got a good job.
From
He's got it from the outside. He's got a nice family. Yeah, why would he be depressed? And I lay there and I thought, you know what? It's just not fair that people throughout the world cannot talk about their mental and emotional struggles. And I thought, my friend has just killed himself. If he'd been able to have one conversation, just one conversation, where he might have asked for some help, I thought, you know what? He might still be alive today. Or he might still be alive. And I thought to myself, I want to do something about that. And so I then co-led a piece of work in Unilever where we started to address the stigma of mental ill health. I saw some of the success of that work, and that was the, I suppose in some ways, the catalyst, which then led me to leave Unilever and take those lessons to other organizations all around the world. And so that's what I've been doing for the last 11 years.
After you left the Unilever,
Yeah.
so you become an advocate.
I'm an advocate, I'm an activist, I'm a campaigner. I do a bit of consulting work for companies to help them.
And you become also my colleagues as well.
And I'm your colleague at Energizing Leaders.
Yes, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that, which is that you feel much meaningful than your corporate world?
You know, I was lucky because I worked for a company called Unilever, which as an organization, it also had a very strong sense of purpose. Yes, it needed to grow, and yes, it needed to be profitable, but it was wanting to do more than just that. It wanted to improve the health and well-being of 1 billion people in the world through
Yes.
its brands.
Yes.
It
Best
wanted
products,
it wanted to reduce its impact on the environment. It wanted to make sure that all of its raw materials came from sustainable sources. So I worked for an organization that had a very strong sense of purpose, and in many ways that was very fulfilling. And the last 11 years has been more about me and my own sense of purpose, and that has also been very rewarding and very fulfilling. You know,
they align with each other. for
absolutely,
sure. Yeah,
absolutely.
So can I type in you more deeper
Yes.
personal questions?
Yeah, of course.
So you have a question so like the lighter the brighter, the shadow the bigger.
Yeah,
So-
the brighter the light,
Yes,
the darker the shadow.
the shadow.
Yeah.
So what make you, as you are global head of Unilever,
Yeah.
so what make you depressed? What you worry about them?
Okay. I mean, you know, it's such a difficult question to answer.
Just try to answer.
I'm gonna try and answer it.
Because you have a good salary, good everything, not
Yeah,
just a
exactly,
salary, and
exactly.
then family.
So let me go back a step and tell you what some of the research tells us. some of us are more susceptible to depression and anxiety for 3 reasons mainly. The first is, it might just be in your genes that you are naturally just a more anxious person.
Okay, sensitive.
Okay? So some people are therefore more susceptible to anxiety and depression because that's just the way they are made. The second is abuse at a young age.
Yeah, childhood
So
trauma.
childhood trauma can manifest itself in depression in adult life. And the third is if there are a number of life issues that come at you at any one time. So imagine, and I know you tragically lost your husband.
Yeah.
But imagine, you lose your husband, you lose a child, you lose your job. I mean, if something like those 3 or 4 things were to happen to you at any one time, that can trigger depression. So it's life events.
I suffered depression for 4.5 years.
Wow.
After my late husband passed away. It's all of a sudden coming, and then I forgot everything.
There you go.
So my body become very slow, just responds rather than acting. So
There you go.
can't remember anything,
There you go.
and then doesn't want to talk to
Yeah.
anybody
Yeah.
for a short period of time.
Right.
But the coaching, being professional, learning, being executive coach, I have a group of people help me out. And then I also did a lot of sports. So this is my way to come out of the depression.
You. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I mean, but
But for me, because you were asking me, what do you think was my trigger?
Yeah, what was your trigger then?
And
I know
I think
my trigger is this sudden,
the loss of your
the
husband.
loss of my late
Yeah.
husband. Yeah.
I think my trigger were 2 things.
Is that pressure from the corporate world?
Well,
Anything to do with that?
there might have been a bit of that, but my mother was a very anxious person.
Okay, so
So
your
I think there's part of me
May's part of a genetic.
makes me a bit more susceptible.
Okay.
And at that time, I remember there were a number of life events going on. So yes, I was doing a very pressurized job, but also my daughter was struggling with school and dyslexia,
yeah.
and we had brought her back from Australia, and it was just really, really difficult. So there was a lot of pressure around her and how she was fitting in at school and all sorts of things. I was beginning to make my roots in the UK. I'm a South African. I always wanted to go back.
That by the accent. Thank you.
I'd always wanted to go back to South Africa, and now I had to stay here. I'd saved a lot of money. I had to take all that money out the bank and buy a house. And I think, so it was a combination of those factors that I think, together with my genetic makeup, that triggered the depressive episode.
So they say there's a move into a new environment that's quite stressful.
Very.
Like looking for houses, and then your family members are settling in. Also develop your career in the new countries, and then
Exactly.
that's, when you see that the scale level of depressed or stress.
Yeah.
So losing bereavement is the heaviest, is the bottom 10. And then moving a new job, a new country, that's, I think, is not the second, but maybe 7 or 8, but I need to check the research.
Yeah.
So I think that's triggers.
Yeah.
Plus you're made in this way, and then that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, without knowing that you could have a panic attack. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you say that every second people suicide in this world, I'm always checking, okay, where's really is that? So I just checking from my data, like internet. What I find the figure, which is what you say is true, but I'm going to show you this and all the audience about suicide rate in China. It's very upsetting, actually. The research from journals published on 2024 journals sagapub.com research saying that the suicidal ideation, suicidal plan, suicide attempt among children, adolescents under 18 years of age in mainland China, the percentage is 15.4% of the suicide ideations, and the suicide plan, my gosh, is 6.4, and then attemptations is 3.5 among this 1 million Chinese children.
Wow.
So this is in a systematic review and meta-analysis magazine.
And you know, Jojo, I mean, that's
3.5%.
But you know what? I think that's, I mean, it's terrible and it's low, but I think it's even higher than that, because I'm sure that there are a lot of deaths where it's not recorded or spoken about, because there are really strong cultural barriers to being able to talk about mental health, mental ill health, suicide. You know, I mean, here in the UK, over the last 10 years...
This is so upsetting, I need to put it down, sorry,
You know, the last 10 years, I mean, here in the UK, the conversation has evolved around mental health. But I mean, if I go to India, if I went to China, I was in Singapore a couple of years ago. I mean, it's just not spoken about.
No,
it's just not spoken about.
We have a cultural issue to sharing your mental, sharing your suffering, or true you.
And why?
Because people think like we're weak.
Yeah.
If I say that. Also, especially boys. Okay, so the education we got there, we have even like a phrase saying that 男人有泪不轻弹, means as a man, you don't cry.
Yeah.
You can't cry as a man. You can't easily crying out.
Yeah.
So everything suffers, need to go inside further. And then we all know, because we are a coach and we all know like the neuroscience, everything goes inside, stays, and then is manifest. How do you say that? Manifest outside of your health, and your world, your family, and your business.
Yeah. And you know, in the UK, the leading cause of death amongst men between the ages of 28 and 50 or whatever, the number one cause of death is suicide. Not car accidents, not cancer, it's suicide. And I bet you if you did the statistics in your part of the world, in China, it would be the exact same.
Yeah, it should be higher, the percentage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it happens to me. I know a friend, like a dog worker, like we walk the dog every day. And then one day, so the owner told me that he took his life just in the neighborhood when he's only 35. Then we said that's okay. We didn't know that he suffered. If we know that, we can talk about, we can help him with him. So what is your suggestions? What is your advice to our audience who might suffering or who knows of friends suffering?
I know that the audience is probably predominantly a Chinese audience.
Not necessary.
Not necessarily.
No.
Okay. I mean, I do want to start by saying that I am very, very mindful of some of the cultural barriers that exist in being able to talk about one's mental or emotional suffering. But what I would say to the audience is, to those men and to those women and whoever else out there, is if you are struggling mentally or emotionally, please just find somebody that you trust, that you know loves you, and please just go and have a conversation with that person. Go and tell them how you are feeling. And if you can't do that, please go and see a doctor, just like you would if you had a physical ailment. And you might have a physical ailment that you're embarrassed about, then go and talk to the doctor. And if you are struggling mentally or emotionally and you can't talk to somebody that you love and trust, then please, please just go and have a conversation with the doctor. You know, Jojo, I honestly believe that if we can just have one conversation when we are struggling, just one, that could save your life. It could save your life. And you know, I want people who struggled like I did, I want them to know that just one conversation can be life-saving. Nobody should die of suicide. Nobody should die of suicide.
No.
And I'm not saying that, you know, a conversation will save everybody's lives, but I know that just one conversation might just save a life, and that's worth fighting for.
Yeah.
Every day of my life, it's worth fighting for.
Yeah.
To give those people and to empower them
Yeah.
to just go and ask for help.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be my advice.
And then I think we all should know that it's okay to show that your vulnerability. It's okay to cry when you feel like.
Yeah. It's okay not to be okay.
Yes.
We're human beings. We have good days, we have bad days, we have good weeks, we have bad weeks. It's normal. It's normal.
No.
And depression and anxiety is common. It's common. It's not.
You're not the only one.
Exactly. You're not the only one. You know, there are millions and billions of people around the world who suffer from depression and anxiety. I often say every story that we tell, every story that we tell about our struggles, it's almost like sending this lifeboat out into the ocean. And the millions of people who hear your story, when they see your lifeboat, they cling on to it. And they realize two things. One, they might just be normal. And secondly, they're not alone in their struggle. They're not alone.
Yeah. This is so meaningful. Whoever listens to this, if you agree to what we say, if you are, please hit a subscribing button, and then that's going to help in our conversation, our channels go further. And then just remember, you're not alone. It's okay to show that you are not okay. And then a conversation can save a life. Thank you so much, Geoff, for sharing this meaningful experience and your advice to our audience.
My pleasure, and thanks for having me, Jojo. Thank you.